Have you ever felt like life took a turn, and suddenly you had to learn to rearrange your own comforts, memories, and steps? That sentence may sound simple, but for many seniors, it's a reality that's very close to home. Imagine a new place, a bright, clean place, and full of unfamiliar faces. Then imagine your heart whispering softly, "Is this really where I belong?" This is where the journey begins. The journey of an 80-year-old trying to move from an old home full of memories to a new environment that feels unfamiliar, but slowly brings unexpected warmth. In this video, you'll be invited to explore small, meaningful moments. The longing for simple things once taken for granted. The gentle laughter of a new person who eventually feels like a friend. And the moments when your heart begins to accept that change doesn't always mean loss. We present a story that moves slowly, like morning steps in a garden still covered in dew. Not rushed, not scary, just warm and very human. You'll see how longing turns into acceptance, how foreignness turns into comfort, and how someone who felt lost finally finds a new home in a place they least expected. This story isn't about weakness. It's about the gentle strength that still lives within us, even as we age. If you've ever felt doubtful, changed, or felt like the world is moving too fast, this story might be a little hug for your heart. A story that reminds us that at any age, we can still find a new place to feel at home. Have you ever felt like you've moved into a room filled with light, but your heart longs for the shadows that used to accompany you? It's like when we sit in a new chair. It's softer, but our bodies still seek the familiar shape of the old chair. Today I want to tell you about my journey at the age of 80, when I decided to move into a nursing home, hoping to find new comfort, but instead discovered that my heart doesn't always readily agree. Before we get into the story, if you'd like to support this channel so it can continue to bring warm and inspiring stories to seniors around the world, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. Your small support keeps us going. Thank you so much. But first, when the doors of the nursing home opened for me, I felt like a guest in a new hotel. The room was clean, the people were friendly, the schedule was well organized. But my heart was like an old suitcase that hadn't been opened, still full of stories from the old place. I used to spend mornings sitting on the veranda watching the sunlight slowly creep up the walls of the house. At the nursing home, the view was different. It's not bad. It just feels like looking at a photo that doesn't have a story for me. It's like wearing a new pair of shoes that look beautiful, but my feet still yearn for the old ones that have adjusted to their shape. Then, what I feel most isn't the noisy atmosphere or the strict rules. It's the loss of the small habits that used to make my day feel whole. I used to turn on the morning light myself. Here it comes on automatically. I used to choose a small snack in the afternoon. Here the snack comes at a time, not at a time I choose. I'm like an old clock with a steady rhythm, then suddenly reset by someone else. The seconds are precise, but the pitch has changed. Little things like that made me ask myself again, am I ready to leave behind all the routines that used to make me feel me? Then, there was the longing for personal space. The personal space here is actually quite comfortable, but it's different from the space at home, where every corner is filled with traces of life's journey. At the nursing home, everything felt like a blank slate, waiting for me to write a new story. But writing a new story at 80 isn't easy. It takes time, it takes a deep breath, it takes a heart that's willing to slowly accept. I miss walking outside whenever I want. I miss moving chairs without permission. I miss enjoying the silence without a schedule hovering over me. It felt like a painter who used to be free to paint on a canvas. Now I have to wait for certain colors to be prepared. Next, my adaptations were quite funny. The first day, I thought someone else's closet was mine. The second day, I rang the doorbell like a hotel guest. The third day, I forgot where I put my glasses. It turned out they'd been hanging out on my head all morning. I chuckled at myself. In the end, after some time, I realized that my regret wasn't because this place was bad. On the contrary, this place was good. So good, in fact, that I felt like a flower being moved from its old soil into a new pot. The flower didn't bloom right away, not because the pot was wrong, but because the roots needed time to dig a new place that felt safe. I was that flower, and I learned that it's okay if the heart isn't ready yet. It's okay if we still miss the sound of hardwood floors, the smell of an old sofa, and a wall full of family photos. Longing isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign that we once had a warm life. For those of you considering a big change, you don't have to feel right away. You don't have to feel comfortable right away. Life at any age has room for slow learning. And every new step, however small, counts. The important thing is to find a place, whatever it is, that gives you a reason to smile, even if it's just the morning sun or a simple cup of warm drink. There are no right or wrong decisions. Wrong, it's just a unique journey for each of us. May your heart remain warm and gentle, wherever you are. Next, we'll talk about the little things I miss after moving to a nursing home. Simple things that once felt ordinary, but turned out to hold such immense comfort. Have you ever realized how precious something is, after it's no longer near you? Like when you lose the television remote, not because you need the television, but because it's something that's always been faithful to its place. So it is with my life. When I moved to a nursing home, I suddenly missed things I never thought about before. The funny thing is, it wasn't the luxury things, but the little things that felt like a gentle embrace from life. In a way, missing the sounds of home. I didn't know I would miss the sounds of home. The sound of a wooden door opening, a little hoarsely. The sound of my own footsteps in the living room, the sound of the wind blowing the thin curtains at the window. All those sounds were like a personal song played just for me. At the orphanage, those sounds were replaced by the sound of the elevator, the same footsteps, and brief conversations in the hallway. Not bad, just different. And it took time for my heart to warm to the new tune. Like someone used to drinking their favorite tea, then suddenly given a different brand. It was just as warm, but the taste didn't immediately suit them. In my old house, I set the rhythm of the day. If I wanted to wake up later, no one complained. If I wanted to have breakfast while reading an old book, that was my choice. If I wanted to walk outside to see the neighbor's flowers, I just opened the door. At the orphanage, everything was more scheduled, and that schedule was good. But my heart felt like a clock, having to keep up with new music, even though I'd had my own rhythm for years. I missed the little luxuries, deciding for myself when to be silent, when to speak, when to sit for a long time without waiting, when to go outside just to look at the sky. It felt like a pianist waiting to play a tune. Next, missing uninterrupted moments. In my house, there are moments of silence that feel like a gift. Silence doesn't mean lonely. Silence allows the mind to wander leisurely like clouds drifting slowly by. In the orphanage, silence is hard to find. There's always the bell ringing, someone passing by, or the sound of the television from another room. I miss the silence that's like an invisible embrace, a silence that gives me the opportunity to breathe more deeply. Then, missing connection with old things. I have small objects that are worthless to others, but very precious to me. A slightly cracked teacup, but it always makes tea feel more home. An old jacket I've worn for decades. A book with yellowed pages, but each fold holds a memory. At the orphanage, I couldn't take everything with me, so I chose only a few. But still, like moving a large tree into a small pot, there are branches of memories that didn't make it. And here's a funny thing. I miss the sound of my old refrigerator. It was noisy, sometimes humming like someone sleeping soundly. But when I lived without that sound, it was like losing a grumpy old friend. At the orphanage, the refrigerator was quiet. It was so quiet, I wondered. I used to complain about the noisy refrigerator. Why am I looking for it now? That's life. Sometimes we miss things we once considered distractions. All this longing taught me one important thing. Life isn't just about where we live. Life is also about the habits that create a sense of security, and the little things that make us feel like we're home. It's okay to miss the past. It's okay to feel like we don't fit in yet. It's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign we've had a long, colorful journey. Longing isn't the enemy. Longing is a bridge connecting who we once were, with who we're trying to become now. May your heart always find a warm place, even in a new place. Next, we'll talk about how I finally began to find a new comfort in the nursing home. This journey wasn't quick, it wasn't instant, like waiting for hot tea to cool a bit before you can sip it slowly. Have you ever put a plant in a new pot, and the first few days the leaves seem hesitant, but then they start to sprout small shoots? That's how I was. At first, I was stiff, but slowly, my heart began to open. I began to see a different side of this new place. At first, I only saw what was missing. Gradually, I began to see what was there. There were the smiles of the staff who always greeted me in the morning. There were new friends sitting at the dining table, talking softly like whispers in the wind. There was an activity room with a warm light that made everyone look several years younger. It felt like opening a window that had been closed, new air slowly entering, not urgently, but refreshing. Then, a new habit that turned out to be enjoyable. I began to find a new rhythm. I began to enjoy walking in the small park outside the building. Every morning, the sunlight touched my skin like an old friend returning for a visit. I started participating in light activities, not because I had to, but because I wanted to hear other people's laughter. Laughter is contagious, like watching a child chase a balloon. I started to enjoy sitting in my favorite chair in the common area. The chair wasn't mine, but every time I sat there, it felt like it was saying, "Welcome back." It was strange, wasn't it? This new place, which had once felt like a strange room, now felt like a comfortable waiting room. Next, getting to know the people who fill my day. I met a friend. I don't know her age, but her white hair was like seasoned snow. Every day she told me a short story. Nothing dramatic. Sometimes it was just about a bird she saw out the window, or a flower that bloomed earlier than usual. But those simple conversations made me feel less alone. I realized that home isn't just about the walls. Home is the people who make us feel welcome, even if we've just met. And there was a funny incident. One morning I was sitting in the garden, and a staff member came over with a jacket for me. I said, "I'm not cold." He smiled and replied, "I know, but the wind is chilly looking at you." I laughed out loud. I didn't even know the wind could be jealous. Small moments like that remind me that life always has a way of gently hugging us. Next, I learned to accept slowly. What changed the most wasn't the place, but the way I saw it. I learned that you don't have to like everything right away. You don't have to force yourself to feel home overnight. Sometimes comfort is like the morning sun rising slowly. We don't even realize when it starts. Suddenly there's a small warmth in our chest. I started talking to myself. It's okay. You're still learning. Even flowers need time to adjust their roots. And each day, one by one, things that once felt foreign, start to feel familiar. Big changes are challenging, especially in old age. But change doesn't always erase old comforts. Sometimes change just adds new color to our lives. If you're in a new place, if you're feeling homesick, or unsure, remember that adaptation isn't a race. There are no first or last place winners. The important thing is, you give yourself a chance to try. Because every day is a new page, and we can write it at a pace that makes us feel at ease. May you too find a small light, however small, where you are now. Have you ever felt a moment when your heart stopped for a moment, and then said softly, "Thank you, life, for giving me time"? That small moment appeared like morning dew, quiet, simple, and full of meaning. Today, before we conclude our journey, I want to invite you to feel that warmth for a moment. A warmth that doesn't come from a luxurious place, not from a big event, but from simple gratitude that we are still here, still breathing, still learning, still listening to each other. In life, especially at our age, every step feels slower. But that's precisely the beauty. We are no longer running. We are no longer chasing things in a hurry. We walk like someone enjoying a park in the afternoon, relaxed, full of feeling, full of memories. Whatever you're going through, whether living alone, living with family, or living in a new, unfamiliar place. Remember that our hearts always have the ability to adapt, like a leaf that keeps moving gently even when the wind changes direction. And if you're feeling doubtful, or feel like the days are sometimes too lonely, know that you're not alone. Millions of seniors around the world are walking the same path, seeking new comforts, seeking new meaning, and learning to love the days that change shape. It's a slow journey, but a very human one. At any age, we can still learn to smile. We can still give love. We can still be a small light for someone, even with just a smile, a kind word, or a simple comment below this video. Senior life isn't the end of the world. Instead, it's a time to sit back in a comfortable chair and reflect on the long and beautiful path we've traveled. Every wrinkle on your face is a map of your journey. Every white hair is a sign of wisdom. Every little laugh shows that your heart is still alive, still warm, still full of stories. And I am grateful, so grateful, to be able to share this time with you today, even if only through a screen. Thank you for opening your heart and gently listening to this story. If you found this video to bring a little warmth, or perhaps brighten your day, I cordially invite you to hit the like button, share this video with friends or family. Subscribe so you don't miss the next story, write a simple comment like, "I'm here," or whatever you feel. And don't forget to activate the notification bell so you'll always be reminded when a new video arrives to brighten your day. Your small support means a lot to us. It's like a small candle that helps keep this space lit, so we can continue sharing warmth together. Thank you, senior friends around the world. May your heart always find a soft place to rest, wherever you are. May your day be filled with serenity, warmth, and the simple gratitude that makes life so rich. Until we meet again, keep smiling, stay warm, and keep believing that every day still has a little gift for you.